where's my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, there it is. Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, there it is.
What is going on here? First I have to shoo away a creeping white tomcat, and now there's a perfect stranger in my bathroom. Get out, will you? A magical pyramid, eh? Frivolous and lecherous magic, more like. Leave my house, afore the divines punish you for your aberrant ways. Out! Now, if you please! This room is private.
Now this is valuable.
Don't just stand there. Go! Away with you!
has as many friends as the man with many cheeses. Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies Sicilia's ever seen.
On the move for cheese. Their excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine golden man. Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses. Be the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
What are ye staring at? Those scallywags are there be soup.
Scrolls to entussle you. No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Aim straight, aim true. Arrows by the dozens.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold.
Of life. Come, make your case.
But if one were to reduce the quantity of skull dust by a percentage of 2, perhaps the stability could be increased by as much as 3-fold.
Oh, a source hunter. Imagine that. Quite a bit more petite than the last of your kind I encountered, aren't you? Yes, by nearly 20 centimeters of tibia, as my memory serves.
You is more
No matter. Even if it couldn't spare its heartiest specimen, I'm sure the order sent the individual with the next highest probability of success. Yeah? Me?
Which of you is more?
Why, I'm more than a little surprised you haven't heard of me. Perhaps I can jog your memory. It was I who cured the Duchess of Arata of her unslakable thirst, a simple pinch of Atropa belladonna in her morning tea. I who discovered that aging itself can be halted by a single application of cicuta douglasii on the tongue. Not to mention that it's been my guidance that has permitted my apprentice Evelyn to make quite a name for herself around Sicile of late. Yes. If that's how we're referring to the secretive use of a revolutionary healing method she refuses to share with her own master. She's in the other room as we speak. Perhaps you can prevail upon her to offer a demonstration. She's gotten hold of a stone, supposedly capable of fantastic feats of healing, but she won't let me take the briefest look at it. She claims to have gotten the relic from a little northern town, Silverglen by name, and that an abbot there blessed it with the power to heal. Utter rubbish, I say. But with these blasted undead haunting the travel routes, I can hardly march up to Silverglen to learn the truth myself. Well, she certainly possesses a critical eye and an exacting manner when it comes to making difficult medical decisions. I expect she'll be a very successful healer in her own right when the time comes. She is learning from the best, after all. Certainly, what would you like to know? The counsellor. Terrible loss, that. Though we were hardly more than acquaintances, I knew him to be a devoted civil servant. From what I can tell, it seems to be a simple case of jealousy turned violent. The affairs of his wife, Esmeralda, were hardly a secret, you know. I've applied myself to that problem for 2 years and still haven't come a step closer to solving it. I declare it an act of the Almighty's, if I believed in such things. Some events, Source Hunter, can be neither controlled nor understood by mere men.
Mysterious healing stone. Interesting indeed.
Nothing sets me on edge like inexplicable magic. So, which of you is more deserving of life? Come, make your case.
She'll realise soon enough that her little party tricks hardly make her worthy of such grave responsibilities.
So, which of you is more deserving of life? Come, make your case.
What's this? I found something.
That relic of Evelyn's the so-called healing crystal. I've seen one like it before, and by the Patriarch's pockets. It's a relic of Source. One look at that gem will be enough to convince me it's no force of good, but a bloodstone through and through. I've come across such a stone before. It may be capable of healing, as the good doctor describes, but its origins are as dark as midnight. Bloodstone is so named for a reason, you see. What starts as a pretty gem is corrupted by 6 sorcerers who infuse it with the blood of the slain. If that stone is what I suspect, I wouldn't trust Cecil's so-called healers any more than I'd trust a pyromancer on a wooden boat.
Soothing across my mind. Can't have gotten far.
So, which of you is more... Excuse me? This is a private sick room. Who in the name of the Seven do you think you are barging in here? Out, I say, right this instant. I'm sorry. It's this task. I'm just... Who am I to meddle with life and death this way? I'm an apprentice of the healing arts. Healing! But this decision feels like precisely the opposite. I have but one healing stone, you see, and 2 direly wounded men who need it. I've been racking my brain trying to decide on the best method to settle this grave situation, but perhaps it's better off in the hands of an esteemed source hunter. Surely you are more accustomed to weighing life and death than I. Yes, a curious relic indeed. I got it from a kindly abbot, Loic by name, in the northern town of Silver Glen. He is of a certain faith, the Immaculates, they call themselves, that espouses the belief that certain stones can heal wounded flesh. I myself was nothing if not skeptical of his claims, but something happened as he handed me the stone. A small cut on my finger instantly healed, leaving no trace of the wound. Needless to say, I was astounded. But it's strange. The stone is only good for a single use at a time before it reverts to a useless, inert state. It takes time to regain its magical properties, and I guard it cautiously. What would you like to know? Quite the venerable staple of Seal, Stephen, and recently blessed with his 3rd grandchild. He was leading a crew of builders when a stray beam struck him in the temple, and only a few days shy of his last day of work before retirement, no less. Nearly everyone in Seal is familiar with grinning Stephen, and, as you can imagine, he's quite dear to his family. One of the brave few willing to traverse the trade routes plagued by the undead. A young man, but excellent in matters of business, before he fell victim to an orcish club in the north, that is. Thankfully for him, a cattle trader found him, nearly dead, but not quite so, and brought him here straight away. You are? I thank you a million times for your help. Who have you decided should receive the healing stone?
Those men hardly sound long for this world. What's taking Tenderfoot so long? Soothing a corpse's troubled mind. Can't have gotten far.
Boris's life has just begun. We can't cut it short now. He should receive the stone.
Yes, Boris deserves to experience all the pleasures of life that Stephen has already enjoyed. Boris it is? Yes, I'll deliver the stone. I'm glad we'll get to save one man, but my heart breaks for the other. No, this is highly abnormal. What is this? This light?
I don't know what I can deserve this. Soothing a corpse's troubled mind. Can't have gotten far.
Sorry, friend. I wish there were enough stones for both of us. I don't know what I did to deserve this, but I'm beyond grateful.
Can't say I didn't want to live. Wanted it with every fibre of my heart. Not just for my own sake, but for my family, you know. Oh, my Matilda. What'll my sweet Matilda do? Enjoy what remains of your life, will you? Never know when it'll be snatched out from under you.
Well, friend. I'm feeling stronger already. 1,000 thanks to you, my hero. I promise I won't waste the life you've given me. What will I do? What won't I do? Seeing how short life can be, how easily it can be taken from you, I'll see it all, do it all. And after I've climbed every mountain in Rivellon and smooched every girl who'll have me, I'll devote myself to learning the magic that saved me. Everyone deserves to feel the thrill of a renewed life. I'll see you around then. I'm liable to spring out of this bed at any minute. Sorry, friend. I wish there were enough stones for both of us.
Boots.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes. Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Spiritless. Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
I'm straight. I'm true. Harry's by the cousins. Let us see if you can choose the finest green. Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Let us see if you can choose the finest green. Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots. I'm straight. I'm true. Harry's by the cousins.
Careful, comrades. I've seen sorcerers infuse even lowly fowl with dark enchantments.
My Balberit's bonds, you see sorcery in the clear blue sky, don't you? I bet you'd scream havoc if I were to give you a mirror.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese.
Hello, proportionate one. Oh, I can see from the symmetry in your face that you are a great fan of the fine arts, no? I'm a painter by trade, as you can see, but a cartographer at heart. You might think there isn't enough work for one of my talents in a downtrodden city like Sicil, and you'd be quite right. I travel around Andervale, mastering my craft and finding new subjects to add to my litany of lovely portraits and complex maps, like this rooster I'm working on now, and the landscape that surrounds him.
Set of silver arrows.
For cheese? That excuses more holes than a slice of this pie.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
reminds me of my young flames. I sailed the sea. I walked the worlds.
I've got my eyes on the prize. Looks like the mortician is rather suspicious about Jake.
What could Mayor Cecil, Captain Aureus, or Evelyn have to do with it?
I was really hoping to find something better.
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues sent another soul flying to his death? This here's my family business. Yes, there's been a Roberts escorting stiffs into the next life since the foundation of Seal itself. They don't write epics about morticians, but I'm proud of my work nonetheless. Sad story, that. Though if I'm speaking plainly, the sentimental aspect of it all doesn't make much of an impression on an undertaker. Especially not these days, with so many laid low by the orcs and such like. I just concern myself with giving the remains a respectable exit from life. We set him to rest in the northern graveyard. Perhaps he can finally get a little peace. So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those... How do you... Ah, the ledger, is it? Fool was I to leave it in the open. Or perhaps I even looked forward to being found out. Well, as you know, I have my suspects in the matter. What would you like to know? Plenty of us shopkeepers entrust the mayor with the spare keys to our businesses, you know. And he's the only person in town with a second copy of the key to the mortuary. He could have used it to sidle in without a peep, if he were so inclined. Aureus himself paid me a visit the night the body was delivered. Came rapping at my door in the frosty morning before the sun had even started peeping, and told me to tell him, and only him, if I noticed anything strange or suspicious about the remains. Can't see why he'd bothered to go through all that trouble, unless he knew something the rest of us don't. I know it sounds strange suspecting the doctor's apprentice of something so ghoulish as this, but there's few in this city could manage to transport a corpse without raising eyebrows. It was she who delivered Jake's body from the inn to the mortuary, and there was something about her that night, some kind of excitement. Seemed she could barely contain her thoughts, that there was something thrilling about to happen. I can't quite settle it in my mind how a young medical professional would have such a strange reaction to an occasion such as that. And this may or may not have anything to do with the whole rigmarole, but her master, Dr. Theleron, bought an old shack of mine, one overtaken by undead, for an exorbitant price considering what he was getting. I never did figure what he wanted it for, but he sure seemed eager. I never saw a widow less distraught at the death of her husband, and I've seen hundreds pass through my parlour. It was she who rang my bell just before the body was snatched, lured me outside claiming she needed air, before discussing the funeral arrangements. Some accomplice could have sneaked in and grabbed the remains while I was comforting the oh-so-overcome Esmeralda. That gold's the only good thing to come out of this blasted affair, and I certainly plan on making some use of it. Killer of the community? Ha! Half this city doesn't know my name, and the other half regards me as the spirit of death itself. I'll keep my reward, thanks, and the community can think whatever it wants. That's enough of that now!
some way to open this. More junk.
Coast reminds me of my long flames. I sailed the seas. I walked the worlds. Oh, how nice it is of you. The very picture of youth. To break the monotony of an elder's day. Wild away on this hardwood bench. Pray, let me be forward with you, O sapling rose, O leaf of spring, for my weary mind is troubled, and would highly prize thy gentle-handed assistance, thy kind ministrations. I am but an aged elf that has seen the years parade in long succession. Gladly shall I tell you more. Will I regale thee, O whelp of men, with my tale? But not here, where the winds may steal my words. You would listen to my grievances, guide me towards untroubled realms. Oh, you are truly a wonder, oh budding flower of the morn. Yet that which I would tell you is of a rather private nature. So let us escape both the chill and the eye of public scrutiny. Hot spiced wine and a snug little room awaits us on the King Crab's first floor. Let us go there so that we can warm our bones, yet make shiver our hearts with a tale of loss and sorrow.
Come now, Alistair. Surely you've met him that once or twice.
it's you! What news? Oh yes, the Fabulous Five. Aren't they simply fantastic? I'm sure they'll get the job done in no time, especially with your expert hand lent to their cause. That machine Ahu built is an abomination. It must be stopped at all costs. I bet the wizard himself could provide some advice regarding how to destroy it. He's the mad scientist who crafted it after all. Jake? Murdered, you say? Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Now I remember. Well, I'm sure the facts will prove me innocent. Keep investigating. You'll see for yourselves in time.
I knew that dark-dealing old man dabbled in sorcery. To the gallows, I say.
He's not a...
The hunter returns! I hope you are here to shop rather than sleuth. Listen, if you're going to accuse me of something, you would better find the evidence to back up your ridiculous claims. Starstone? I've never heard of such a thing. Dear Jake had a mineral collection, yes. As far as I knew, it was one of his pastimes, nothing more. Do you mean to imply he collected something dangerous? Something that may have gotten him into trouble? Oh, this is all too much. I feel like I'm drifting from nightmare into nightmare. What a strong and handsome officer you are, kind Septimus. You are...
Thank you eternally for your help. Though your reaction to the healing stone, I have no idea what to make of it. Is that so? Well, I handled the corpse myself, indeed, but I hardly knew the man in life. I was shocked when Ahu asked me to come to the crime scene, but Theliron had taken ill, and the responsibility fell to me. I arrived at the inn, where the body lay just where it had fallen. The injuries were like nothing I'd ever seen. A single intricate laceration wove like lace around every inch of his skin. Neither a beginning nor an ending point were discernible. I examined the corpse and recorded what information I could. I personally delivered the corpse the short distance to the mortician's house. As far as I know, everything was, as far as a magical murder is concerned, quite normal. That strange reaction you caused, blue lightning from a healing stone, I've never seen anything like it. And the stone looks different now, too. Like it's devoid of life. I begin to wonder if its magical properties survived your little reaction.
To what do I owe the repeated pleasure, Source Hunter? world belongs to the young, they say, and Boris will live to take his piece. Thank you for your help in this matter. Well, she certainly possesses a critical eye and an exacting manner when it comes to making... I expect she'll be a very successful healer in her own right when the time comes. She is learning from the best, after all.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
It is said, and this I have heard from a ghost who knew Elba, who knew Elliot, who is said to have known Sigurd himself.
By the Seven! What a tale!
For colour. So ardently did he crave creamy blues and gory reds that he ordered a contest across his realm. Today, I think, a king...
You there! Take a seat! Prepare to laugh your head off! Cry your eyes out and teeter on the edge of your seat with an original tale from Stefan, the talking severed head. I am Reginald the Illusionist, purveyor of the most amazing artifact in Andevale, this fantastical talking head. Catch the act while you can. This show will only remain in Sicil as long as there are Legion soldiers to entertain. That's right, a talking head. And he doesn't just talk. He'll weave you a yarn so fantastic, you'll be begging to hear just one more, and just one more. It's quite a story how I found him, too. I obtained this curio by some rather sensational means. You see, I was diving in search of a rare medicinal sea herb. I volunteer with the local children's apothecary on weekends, in the shallows around Sicil's own Black Cove, when I spotted something amazing. The chest belonging to the fabled Captain Pontius. Though the chest was stuck fast, I summoned a swell of great strength and prized it free from the ancient rock. I had the treasure of a lifetime in my very hands, but then, slurp, gulp, I was swallowed by an ornery kraken that seemed to appear from nowhere. In the hubbub, I lost hold of my prize and watched it sink to the bottom of the beast's cavernous belly. Still, I feared only for a moment that all was futile. Before my mind's eye swam the faces of the many war widows and necrotic orphans who would be lost without my charitable support. I knew I had to live. Grabbing fast to the hilt of a cutlass that floated by at just that moment, I summoned all my strength to slash a great gash in the creature's gut. Freeing myself from my would-be tomb, I swam as quickly as I could, first to the surface and then to the shore. It was there, along the rocky beach, that I tripped over this talking head. Strange, isn't it? My word! Hard times, Lord Pinchpenny?
Bravo! Bravo! Re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Oh, excuse me, I'm trying to prepare for the next show. Autographs will have to wait until the end. I doubt I have to tell you that I am the amazing singing Stefan, the only sentient severed head in Sicil. My audience sings my praises from hill and dale. Psst! You're a source hunter, aren't you? Oh, bless the Seven. Look, you've got to help me. I've been kidnapped. Pleasure to meet you. Now, please, Stefan has many fans to meet today. Psst, now help me. Take me to Reginald's cellar. There I will reveal everything.
What a tale!
My word!
By the Seven, what a tale!
tricks on the kids. This here is the greatest illusion in Andorvale.
By the seven, what a tale! My word!
Today, I think, a king. The great Sigurd and his rainbow of war machines.
My
word! It is said, and this I have heard from a ghost who knew Elba, who knew Elliot, who is said to have known Sigurd himself, that the king had a great thirst for colour. So ardently did he crave creamy blues and gory reds.
My word!
In a contest across his realm. Today, I think, a king. The great Sigurd and his rainbow of war machines.
My word!
It is said, and this I have heard from a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. It won't be the worst indignation I've suffered.
We will have none of that, you hear?
My word!
Back for more, I see! Well, I can't say I'm surprised, what with Stefan rattling off legendary yarn after...
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Excuse me, I'm trying to prepare for the next show. Autographs will have to wait until the end. What do you call a source hunter who finds a way to draw a crowd away from where he or she would like to perform a clandestine operation? A resourceful hunter. Come now, it can't be that hard to find something to draw off the attention of this bleating herd.
Fantastic!
You there! You don't look like someone who's ever been serenaded by a severed head. Step right up!
Fantastic!
My word! My word!
Zombie ate your dog? Orc sunk your ship? No matter! You're at Katerina's Fair, a veritable summer home for troubled minds. Won't you take a seat and let our esteemed entertainers whisk you off to a better place? Well, I'm Katerina the Fair, fairest first lady of the fair, of course. I do love making the acquaintance of my patrons, and who knows which of them might become one of my performers. I've an open stage in want of talent, and I've often found the best young performers among the rank and file of the audience. The theatre's favor has overcome you, has it? Marvelous! I do so love a fresh green talent ready to bloom. But I support players, not writers, you see. If you want to perform here, you'll have to find tried and true material. Check the library and see if any of the classics there interest you. I'd love to see a source hunters take on one of the old standards.
Severed head!
Performers, showmen!
Right away, my dear, just as fast as your boots can carry you. You've found something decent to perform, I trust, and you've gathered enough actors to do it justice? Speak to Master Chaucer if you're ready for your debut. He alone can adequately prepare you for the stage.
My word!
Creamy blues and gory reds that ordered a contest across his realm.
Come on!
Fantastic!
Touch the stage!
The great Sigurd and his
Fantastic!
And who are you supposed to be? Oh, I should have been one of the greats. But here I am gathering peasants to watch peasants perform broadside pageants for peanuts. No, really? I hadn't noticed. If not for this ridiculous condition, you'd know me as the king's favorite thespian. Don't you have an impressive library here in Sicil? I'm sure that beast of a librarian could rustle something up for you. Katerina's given the go-ahead, has she? Oh, very well then. Tell me when you're ready to begin, and I'll show you to your places and gather you whatever crowd of drunken yokels can be prevailed upon to watch you flail about on stage. Ready for your trial by fire, you mean? There's no more savage foe than an audience, my dear. But I'm sure you'll do just fine. May the show begin! Not planning on playing to an empty audience, are you? Wait until I've gathered some victims to witness the spectacle, and then you can begin. Any last words?
You hear distant mutterings of curiosity as a small crowd shuffles toward your stage. A few moments longer, and everyone will be seated. Now, let's not be hasty. They may be dragging their feet, but your show is sure to knock the crowd's socks off. As soon as they settle into their seats, that is. The stage is yours.
If I wanted to wait around doing nothing, I'd get a job at court. Simply marvelous.
The crowd seems to know the tale. They wholly approve of your beginning.
Simply marvelous. Bravo!
The crowd is thrilled. Whatever will happen next is sure to excite them.
Simply marvelous.
Good show.
The crowd seem quite impressed with your delivery. Keep it up.
Simply marvelous.
A swell of unkind adjectives and four-letter nouns stream upward.
Boo! Is it too late?
Gasps ring out across the audience. They must know how it ends. They simply must.
I hope there's an encore. Fantastic.
Bravo!
The crowd explodes into applause and appreciation. You've woven them a tale of desperation and hope, and they are alive with the thrill of it.
The action was innovative, but the story was simply unforgivable.
You there? You look like an actor just waiting for his big debut.
Sicil's only sentient
Sicil, what you're made of. Apart from beer and flatulence.
Today, I think, the great Sigurd and his rainbow of war machines.
My word.
It is said, and this time have heard from a ghost. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Oh, excuse me, I'm trying to... It won't be the worst indignation I've...
That is enough of that now!
My word!
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Oh, excuse me, I'm trying to prepare... What do you call a source hunter who finds a way to draw a crowd away from where... A resourceful hunter. It won't be the worst...
We will have none of that, you hear?
By the seven, what a tale!
Today, I think, a king. The great Sigurd and his rainbow of war machines.
You there! You look like an actor just waiting for his big debut. What is it this time? Really? 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 You're going to make me say it? Fine. You were absolutely, utterly, inarguably the worst performer I have. Glad you asked. Oh, here we go again. Try not to embarrass yourself too terribly, please. Wouldn't we all? But unlike a true thespian, you haven't a scrap of material to work with. Must I spell out every step along the way? To the library. Katerina's given the go-ahead, has she? Oh, very well. Tell me when you're ready to begin, and I'll show you to your places and gather you whatever crowd of drunken yokels can be prevailed upon to watch you flail about on stage. Oh, here we go again. Try not to embarrass your... Not planning on playing to an empty audience,
You hear distant mutterings of curiosity as a small crowd shuffles toward your stage. A few moments longer, and everyone will be seated.
Fantastic!
The stage is yours.
Oh, I hope there's an encore.
The crowd seems to know the tale. They wholly approve of your beginning.
Fantastic! Bravo!
The crowd is thrilled. Whatever will happen next is sure to excite them.
Bravo!
Step right up!
Bravo! Good show. Simply marvelous.
Oh, there's an encore.
The crowd seem quite impressed with your delivery. Keep it up.
Good show.
Simply marvelous.
The crowd gasps. They're on the edge of their seats. Go on. Push them over.
That the king had a great thirst for colour. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. It won't be the worst indignation.
What do you think you are doing? Come on!
My
Come on.
word!
Oh, I hope there's an encore. Good show.
Gasps ring out across the audience. They must know how it ends. They simply must.
Fantastic!
The crowd explodes into applause and
Come on! Can't you hear the stage calling you?
From a ghost who knew Elba, who knew Elliot, who is said to have known Sigurd himself, that the king had a great thirst.
Bravo! Yeehaw!
Like an actor just waiting for his big debut.
Fantastic!
The great Sigurd and his rainbow of war machines. It is said,
What a tale!
Who knew Elliot, who is said to have known Sigurd himself, that the king had a great thirst for colour. So ardently did he crave creamy blues and gory reds that he ordered a contest across his
Fantastic!
Bravo!
That's enough of that now.
Fantastic!
It is said, and this I heard from a ghost who knew Elba, who knew Elliot, who is said to have known Sigurd himself, that the king had a great thirst for colour. So ardently did he crave creamy blues and gory reds that he ordered a contest across his realm. Today, I think, a king, the great Sigurd and his rainbow of war machines.
Come on! Can't you hear the stage calling you? Come on! Come on! Can't you hear the stage calling you? Come on! Can't you hear the stage calling you?
Can you spare a coin?
You there! Sit! Stay a while. Right in front. I'll excite you. I'll delight you. I'll beguile you. I'll besmile you. I'm Cedric the Sensational, and I'm playing to an empty audience. Don't pity me. No, sir. Just a few years ago, I was the all-singing, all-dancing, all-sensational darling of the town. People came from far and wide just to witness my amazing act.
Can you spare a coin?
Performers, showmen, show all of them. Sightseer, what you're made of.
Can you spare a coin?
Performers, showmen, show all of them. Sightseer, what you're made of. Here, flash. You there? You look like an actor just waiting for his big debut.
Cruel
Performers, showmen, show all of them. Sightseer, what you're made of. Seal, what you're made of.
Have some pity.
When Reginald came, he brought some fantastic prop with him. Now, have you seen it? A talking head! Now, I never expected a silly gimmick like that to be my main competition. It seems even my usually choosy audience has been taken in by that hack's little gizmo. I'm a man of skill, sleight of hand, feats of wit, and pure entertainment. This curio is ruining what used to be an art. And even when there's no crowd to speak of, old Reggie still has at least one fan calling bravo and hee-haw. Sure as the sun sets, that one devotee attracts 5 more, and those 5 more all curious about the commotion. I don't know how he inspires such loyalty with less talent contained between his hat and his boots than I've in my crusty handkerchief.
Can't you hear the stage calling you?
Can you spare a coin?
A familiar face. Carp!
Have some pity. Have some pity.
Attention! About face! Not! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Your return marks of victory, Hunter. We'll vanquish our
face!
Hey, no, I think that.
Ah, the Source Hunter. Oh, joyous hour. Oh, still not finished with that sorry matter? Well, have you found any incriminating evidence against her? If so, let's have it. Whom would you have the Legion arrest?
He already came clean and expressed his remorse. We should let this one slide.
Right you are. Succumbing to a temporary temptation shouldn't be enough to land a man in jail, even if he technically committed a crime.
Why bring up the subject of arresting someone if you don't dare go through with it? Damn waste of time, you! If you must. Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking God's knows which body parts. Sects, sorcerers. He'll be...
Putting her down yourself.
Sir, no, sir.
I wish for you to try it, speech woman. The beast speaks, so you've had to read behind that feral wall, have you?
The cretin's question crossed her lips and ached an air of aptitude.
Hey, pal, I think that was an insult.
Don't pay attention to the beast, Furious. You'll only encourage it.
Again! Attention!
You don't think it's effective, do you?
Pay the big cheese on your block for the wheel of the good stuff.
Linger over long while lighting my pipe.
Smell.
Oh, careful now. Your head's grown more swollen than saffrons, I dare say.
Actually, I think that's only roast pig.
Ah, yes. Yes, of course.
This time.
The hunters?
It is said, and this I have heard from a ghost who knew Elba, who knew Elliot, who is said to have known Sigurd himself, that the king...
Fantastic! Bravo! Bravo!
So ardently did he crave...